Black played. Pawn takes c4 check. Pause the video to figure out white's next move. King takes c4. Pawn takes b4. Pawn g4. King d6. Pawn h3. King c6. King takes b4. King d5. King c3. White intends to play. King d3. Pawn e4 check. King e3. King e5. Pawn b4. King f6. King takes e4. King g5. Pawn b5, and secure a stronghold in the game. King e4 played by black. King d2. King f3. King e1. King g2. Pawn b4. King takes h3. Pawn b5. King takes g4. Pawn b6. Pawn h5. Pawn b7. King f5. King e2. Pawn g5. Pawn promotes to queen at b8. White intends to play. King e3. Pawn g4. Queen c8 check. King g5. Queen e6. Pawn g3. Queen takes e5 check. King g6. King f4, and increase their advantage significantly. On h4 white is clearly ahead. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. On h4 pause the video and try to find black's next move. Pawn takes b5. Pawn takes b5. King e7. Black is preparing to play. King d7. King c4. King e6. King d4. Pawn h5. Pawn c6. Pawn takes c6, and increase their advantage significantly. King e3 was chosen by white. Pawn h5. King d4. King e6. King c4. Pawn e3. Black considers playing. Pawn e2. King d4. Pawn promotes to queen at e1, and secure a stronghold in the game. King d3 played by white. King d5. King takes e3. King takes c5. King d3. King takes b5. King d4. King f4. King e5. Pawn b5. King takes f5. Pawn b4. King g5. Pawn b3. Pawn f5. Pawn b2. King takes h5. Pawn promotes to queen at b1. Black is setting up to play. Queen takes f5 check, and establish a winning position. King g6 white is on the verge of defeat. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. King c3 pause the video to analyze black's next move. King c6. King d3. King c5. Black considers playing. Pawn e4 check. King takes e4. King takes c4. King e5. King b3. Pawn f3. King takes a4, and dominate the board. King e4 played by white. King takes c4. Pawn h5. Pawn takes h5. King takes e5. Pawn h4. Black wants to play. Pawn h3. King d6. Pawn h2. King c7. Pawn promotes to queen at h1, and establish a winning position. King f4 was chosen by white. King b3. King g4. King takes a4. King takes h4. King b5. King h5. Pawn a4. Black wants to play. King c4. King h6. King d5. King takes h7. King e4. King g6. King f3. King f5. Pawn a3, and dominate the board. King h6 played by white. King c6. Black is setting up to play. On a 3. King takes h7. King d5. King h6. King e4. King g5. King f3. King f5. King takes f2 and sees the initiative. King takes h7 played by white. King d5. Black is looking to play. On a 3. King g6. King e4. King f6. On a 2. King e6. King f3, and put immense pressure on the opponent. King g6 was chosen by white. King e4. Black wants to play. On a 3. King f6. On a 2. King e6. King f3, and gain a significant edge. King g5 move preferred by white. King f3. Black intends to play King takes f2 and take decisive advantage. King f5 move preferred by white. King takes f2. King e4. White is outplayed. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. King g6. Pause the video to find out white's response. King e4. On a 4. On takes a 4. King h5. King d5. King h4. Black might go for King takes h3 and sees the initiative. On a 5 was chosen by white. White might go for on a 6. King takes h3. On a 7. King g3. On promotes to queen at 8 and dominate the board. On takes a 5 was chosen by black. King takes c5. King takes h3. King d5. On g4. On c5. On g3. On c6. On g2. On c7. On promotes to queen at g1. On promotes to queen at c8 check. King h2. Queen h8 check. King g2. Queen g8 check. King f1. Queen takes g1 check. King takes g1. King takes a 5. King f2. White is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. White played King b5. Pause the video to figure out black's next move. On h4. King c5. King b7. King b4. King a6. King a4. On h3. King b4. On d4. King c4. White is preparing to play. King takes d4. King b7. King c5. King a6. King d6. King b5. On a6. King takes a6. King e7 and sees the initiative. King takes a 5 move preferred by black. King d3. King a4. King takes d4. King b4. King d3. King b3. King d4. White is looking to play. King c5. King c3. King d6. King d4. King e7. King e3. King takes f7 and take decisive advantage. King c2 was chosen by black. King e4. King d2. King d4. King e2. Black is looking to play. King f3. King c5. King takes f4 and secure a stronghold in the game. King c5 move preferred by white. King e3. King c4. King takes f4. King d4. King takes g5. King c5. White is struggling to keep up. Let's go to the next game. Black just played King e7. Pause the video to analyze white's next move. On the 5. White might go for on takes b6. On takes b6. King e5. King d7. King d5. King e7. On b4, and secure a stronghold in the game. Pawn takes a 5 move preferred by black. King e5. White is looking to play. King d5. King f6. King d6. Pawn c4. Pawn takes c4, and secure a stronghold in the game. King f7 was chosen by black. King d5. White wants to play king takes c5, and secure a stronghold in the game. King f6 played by black. King d6. White is setting up to play. King d5. King f7. King takes c5, and increase their advantage significantly. King f7 was chosen by black. King takes c5. King e7. King takes d4. King d6. On c4. King e6. On c5. King d7. King e5. King c7. On d4. King c6. On d5 check. King d5. On d6. White is preparing to play. On d7. On a4. Pawn takes a4 check. King takes c5. Pawn promotes to queen at d8, and increase their advantage significantly. King c6 played by black. King e6. King takes c5. On d7. King d4. Pawn promotes to queen at d8 check. King c3. Black is outplayed. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. King c6. Pause the video to analyze white's next move. On b3. King c5. On g3. On e4 check. King e3. King c6. King d4. King d6. On c4. White might go for pawn takes d5, and gain a significant edge. On e3 move preferred by black. On c5 check. King c6. Black is planning to play. On e2. King e5. Pawn promotes to queen at e1 check, and increase their advantage significantly. King takes e3 was chosen by white. King takes c5. King d3. King d4. King c2. King c5. On g4. King d4. On g5. White is looking to play. On g6. King c5. On g7. King b4. Pawn promotes to queen at g8, and put immense pressure on the opponent. King e5 move preferred by black. King d3. King f5. King d4. King takes g5. King takes d5. King f5. King c5. White is planning to play. King b6. King e6. King takes a5, and seize the initiative. King e4 played by black. King d5. King d4. King takes a5. King c5. White is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. Black made a move. On f5. Pause the video to analyze white's next move. King d4. White might go for King e5. King g4. King takes e6, and dominate the board. King f6 move preferred by black. On h3. On e5 check. King d5. On a6. On g3. On f4. Black is planning to play pawn takes g3, and seize the initiative. Pawn takes f4 was chosen by white. Pawn takes f4. King e4. White is looking to play king takes f4, and dominate the board. King e6 played by black. King takes f4. King d5. On h4. King e6. King e4. King e7. On h5. King e6. On h6. King f7. On h7. White's idea is to play pawn promotes to queen at h8, and gain a significant edge. King g7 was chosen by black. King d5. White's idea is to play pawn promotes to queen at h8 check and secure a stronghold in the game. King takes h7 was chosen by black. King c6. King g6. King b6. King f5. King takes a 6. King e4. King takes b5. King e3. White has a decisive advantage. Let's go to the next game. Black made a move. Pawn b5. Pause the video to find out white's response. Black's idea is to play King b6, King e4, King c5, Pawn takes b5, King b6, Pawn b4, Pawn a4, King f5, King takes b5, and establish a winning position. Pawn c5 was chosen by white. White considers playing King e6, Pawn e4, King e7, Pawn e3, Pawn takes d6 check, and gain a significant edge. Pawn takes c5 move preferred by black. King takes e5, King d7. Black intends to play Pawn b4, King f5, Pawn c4, Pawn takes c4, Pawn a4, and gain a significant edge. Pawn d6 played by white. White might go for King d5, Pawn c4, Pawn takes c4, Pawn takes c4, King takes c4, King takes d6, King takes d4, and gain a significant edge. Pawn c4 move preferred by black. Black intends to play Pawn takes d3, Pawn b4, Pawn d2, Pawn takes a5. Pawn promotes to queen at d1 and put immense pressure on the opponent. Pawn takes c4 played by white. Pawn takes c4. King takes d4. Pawn takes d3. King takes d3. King takes d6. King e4. White wants to play King f5. Pawn a4. King g6. King e5. King takes h6 and secure a stronghold in the game. King e6 was chosen by black. Pawn b3. King f6. King d5. White is preparing to play King d6. King f7. King c5, King f6, King b6, King e5. King takes a5 and put immense pressure on the opponent. King e7 move preferred by black. King e5. White wants to play King d5, King f6, King d6, King f7, King c7, King f6, King b6, and put immense pressure on the opponent. King d7 move preferred by black. King f5, King d6, King g6, King e5. King takes h6, King f4, King g6, King g3, King f5, King f2, Pawn h6, King e3, Pawn h7, King d4. Pawn promotes to queen at h8 check. King d3. White is clearly ahead. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. Pawn a4. Pause the video to figure out black's next move. Pawn h5. Pawn a5. Pawn g6. King g3. King e4. Black considers playing King takes e3 and secure a stronghold in the game. King f2 played by white. King d3. Black intends to play King d2, King f3, King e1, King g3, King e2, Pawn f5. Pawn takes f5 and take decisive advantage. King f3 move preferred by white. King c3. Black is preparing to play. King d3. King f2. King d2. King f3. King e1. King g3. King e2. Pawn f5. Pawn takes f5 and seizes the initiative. King g3 played by white. King c4. King f2. King d5. King f3. King takes a5. Pawn e4. Pawn takes e4 check. King takes e4. King d5. Pawn f5. Pawn takes f5 check. King takes f5. Pawn a5. King f4. Pawn a4. King g5. King c5. King takes h5. King d6. King g4. King e7. Black's idea is to play pawn a3. Pawn h5. King f8. Pawn h6. King g8 and put immense pressure on the opponent. Pawn h5 move preferred by white. King f7. Pawn h6. King g8. Black might go for pawn a3. King f5. Pawn a2. King e6. Pawn promotes to queen at a1 and secure a stronghold in the game. King f4 was chosen by white. Pawn a3. King e5. Pawn a2. King d6. Pawn promotes to queen at a1. King c6. White is struggling to keep up. Let's go to the next game.